What's going on, guys? In today's video, we are talking about some of the best plays that you could be making in the sealed Pokemon market. Best place to park your money heading into this 30th anniversary. Before we jump in and talk about why some of these products are home run winners, really quick, make sure you are subscribed. We're trying to hit 2,000 subscribers. Second off, if you are looking to get sealed product from the hottest sets, Destined Rivals, Ascended Heroes, Prismatic Evolutions, whatever it may be, at under market pricing, that means cheaper than anywhere you will find TCG Player, eBay, etc. We have a wholesale access program right here. We have two different tiers. We have the starter tier and the elite tier. The only difference is in how many cases you are able to buy. With the starter tier, there is a cap of 5. With the elite, it's unlimited. Awesome people, everybody's joining right now because nobody, and I mean nobody, is selling Destined Rivals under market. Nobody's selling Prismatic Evolutions, Ascended Heroes, etc. because all these products sell at market, but we are. So make sure to join. Get on the wait list. You only get charged if you get accepted. If you are payment ready and you are ready to immediately join, that does not mean that you will be accepted. Specifically for the elite tier, this one's application only. We're only working with select high profile accounts, not people who are just capitalizing on the hype of the market. We're looking for more established businesses. So if you are, or at least trying to grow your business, this is a great way of doing it. We're currently working with a lot of 5-6 figure sellers that are looking to scale into 7, and having so much access to supply with unlimited case purchases, it allows you to scale. So be sure to check it out. But yeah, let's talk about Destined Rivals. Destined Rivals is a great one. We were selling the cases on our wholesale group for $1,500. $1,500 is just absolutely crazy of a price. And right now you're looking at TCG. We're talking $17.75, and that is still very undervalued. When I was selling them $60. $60 a booster bundle inside of a distributor factory sealed case. And what a lot of people don't understand is there's a massive premium in having factory sealed cases. A lot of people, when they value cases, they're like, okay, there's 25 bundles, so we're just going to multiply that by 25. And that's not how it works. Because when you're opening a bundle, you can reasonably expect to get some type of a case hit. It's not tampered or messed with in any sort of way. And also, they're far more scarce. People who are investing for the long haul, and this shouldn't come as a surprise for anyone, right? Think about vintage booster boxes. Think about one vintage booster box versus a sealed case of vintage booster boxes. There's a huge premium on sealed cases of vintage booster boxes because nobody has them. And that's not to say nobody has modern sealed cases, but there's way less people that have sealed cases of 25 of Destined Rivals than they do of the individual ones. And what you're going to find happens is as the individual ones are going up in price. Let's look at that 6 month, right? This one was kind of all over the place. Loose one, we were up 7%, we were up to 60, we crashed down to 50, we were up to 70, and now we're kind of holding the line at 70. If we go though, and you look at the cases, look at how much more stable that chart is. Again, side-by-side comparison. Look, 3 month is going up, but 6 month went up, went down, went up, went down, went up. But the linear growth on the cases, it's steady, and it's going up over time, Past year, kind of wonky. I don't know what happened here with these out the gate, but I don't think any of these sold. But just more recently, past 3 months, absolutely insane amount of growth, and it's going to continue growing because Destined Rivals is best of breed. It is the top Scarlet Violet set. Outside of the specialty sets, everybody wants Destined, okay? People don't care about Stellar Crown as much as they do Destined Rivals, and that is why you are seeing far better returns with Destined Rivals. But yeah, I mean, it's a product you can't go wrong with. People are upset how expensive it is, but you got to think about it. It's a home run set. I mean, Cynthia's Garchomp, huge. Giovanni's Mewtwo. You got the Ho-Oh. There's just so many awesome cards. And the entire Team Rocket nostalgia is also driving a lot of value. And genuinely, compared to some other sets, it's actually a fun set to open. You could open 10 packs of Destined Rivals and you could reasonably expect to get some pretty cool hits, whether that's illustration rares. And even some of the illustration rares are awesome. Like the Misty's Lapras. That one is not hard to hit and it's not even that expensive, but it's a fun set. It's fully stacked. And it's nostalgic. You combine all those 3 factors, that's the perfect storm for this to go up. And yeah, these are trending to 100. Okay, these are going to be trending to 100. We're going to be seeing these sealed cases at $2,500 before you know it. The only reason that we haven't seen that yet, that type of growth, is because there actually was a small reprint of booster bundles for Destined Rivals. But as the boxes continue going up, the booster bundles are going to follow suit. And I think there has been a little hesitation lately in the market, seeing Destined Rival boxes surpass 500-600, people saying it's a brand new set, yada, yada. What people don't realize is even if there is a reprint, it's probably not going to be substantial enough to cause the prices to collapse down to 300, which is what people are hoping for. I'm here to say it's not going to happen. I'm telling you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. If you guys want to be getting like false hope, go to some other YouTube channel, because here I'm just documenting what's actually going on in the market. But yeah, nonetheless, Destined Rivals, great one. Really quick, wanted to talk about Chaos Rising as well. We have some pre-sales. Obviously, we still have about a month before the release of this one, but honestly, I'm a little surprised. 240 right now, obviously with tax, etc. You're looking at like 260 landed. I would have expected stronger for Chaos Rising, and we'll see what the big sellers do, because a lot of the big sellers kind of control the price here, the ones that have thousands of boxes to dump initially upon release. But Chaos Rising feels a lot better than Perfect Order. The excitement behind the Greninja is far greater than we had for the Star Mirror, the Meowth with Perfect Order. And that being said, I don't think the market's valuing Chaos Rising, and I don't know if they're just treating these two mainland sets as kind of like a dud or like a lull before we get to 30th anniversary. I'm not sure if people are just saving their money, but these are sets that I'm continuing to build positions in. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, is a lot of people are just buying like Ascended Heroes. But if you want to diversify within Pokemon, like buying multiple different sets is a great way to do it. Obviously, as a business owner, I'm kind of in a little different position because I buy every single release, no matter if it's good or bad, just working with my suppliers. But if you're just a casual collector, investor, whatever, you don't necessarily have to do that. But, Chaos Rising with the Greninja, seeing what Twilight Masquerade did, with it starting out being a hated trash set, you can buy as much of it as you want, and now it's like $300+ a box. I think Chaos Rising is going to do something similar. We'll see when the full set officially comes out and what the cards look like, quality, everything like that. That's all going to affect its value. But I was expecting, we had some pre-sales at 275, but I was expecting at least for this set to hold the line at 250. So interested to see what happens here. But yeah, a little underwhelming right now. A little underwhelming for Chaos Rising. We'll see what happens, because the ETBs are holding very strong. The ETBs are over 100. The booster box is not so much. And personally, I've not seen for there to be a huge surge in the amount of booster boxes in the market. So again, interested to see what happens. Speaking of Perfect Order, this is one of those sets that just like absolutely collapsed. Obviously, these pre-sales don't mean that much because people knew that it was going to be cheaper. So these charts are kind of all over the place. But, these were hitting a low of like $33, $35. It's not going to get any cheaper. It's not going to get, I think retail on these is like 27. So with tax, whatever, you're out the door at like 32. Nonetheless, any set right now, you're looking, no matter how good or bad, minimum $6 a pack. You get 6 packs inside of a bundle. That's $36 minimum value. Can't get any cheaper. So if you've been wanting to get Perfect Order, now's the time to do it. Not saying go all in, invest all your money in Perfect Order, but yeah, risk mitigation, you really can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Perfect Order right now. Other sets, they could be seeing pullbacks, like Prismatic Evolution ATBs were like 220, 230. Then they dropped all the way down to like 170, 160. Some even at one point like 150 after the reprint. And, those are sets where if they just continue exploding and going up and up and up and up, one reprint, an increase in supply will cause those prices to come right back down. Obviously, Prismatic's rebounding now as some time has gone on, but like Perfect Order is just one of those sets where as Wave 2 of all this stuff officially comes out, I mean, these prices are going to be as low as they could possibly get. Anything else is just going to be bought up by all the big businesses. And so, yeah, if you want Perfect Order, hop on in. Last one, 151 Booster Bundle. Again, not really surprised to be seeing this kind of growth. What's interesting to me, though, is people are valuing something like 151 in the same level of Ascended Heroes, and they're saying that Ascended Heroes is better. What they fail to understand is when 151 came out in 2023, the market wasn't very hot. You could buy ETBs for $45, $50 shipped, and, it's not like they were like double the price. And UPC sat for $80, $90, that are now $1,000. And what people don't recognize is, well, Ascended Heroes right out the gate is already at like what, $80, $90, half the price of 151, yet this has 3 years of extra history. What's going to happen is you have a much higher likelihood and much higher probability of something like the booster bundles coming down in price than you do something like 151. What you got to understand is this is already an established product. And sure, it's going to have fluctuations here and there, but you're not going to see a product like this slip 50%. Now, I'm not saying Ascended Hero booster bundles are going to drop 50%, but what I am saying is there are more booster bundles of Ascended Heroes coming. which is inevitably going to increase the supply, and that's going to cause prices to definitely dip. 151, we know for certain there's not going to be more booster bundles. And again, this is that type of product where it's not going to drop as much. So, be mindful when investing, obviously spending, large sums of money. Don't just go all in on one product. Try to diversify, buy a little bit of everything. Because at the end of the day, you don't really know what's going to have its moment. 151 was dead in the end of 2025, like under $100, and now it's 200. So just try to be mindful when buying. Obviously, I try to educate and help out as much in my own videos. But all of these older products, they tend to be safe bets. But then again, it's already priced in. Like the prices have already increased so much. So what are the chances that this doubles again? It's unlikely to happen in the short term. The gains that have been meant to made in 151 have already happened. It's going to be quite some time before you see another substantial increase. So not to say it's a great buy, but then not a bad buy either. I wouldn't be going all in on something that has already doubled in price. There's better opportunities elsewhere. I think Destined Rivals right now, of anything we talked about in this video, is going to be your best friend. I would, I stay away from the loose booster bundles. Like I'm in a position where I could afford the cases. And not even from a affordability standpoint, I just don't want to be competing against individual Joe Schmo sellers that may have one of these or two of these, and it's going to basically be like an undercutting frenzy. That's what happens with the individual products. If you have cases, people who have cases, they are not undercutting. They hold the line or they wait for it to appreciate in price. And I just think it's better if you are in a position where you can't afford it. If you can't afford it, save up because these are way more scarce. The cases are way more scarce. You cannot walk into a Target or Walmart and buy a factory sealed case, but you could do that with the individual bundles. That's not to say you can't buy individual bundles. I have individual bundles too. But that's mainly from cases that we open where we don't sell everything. But if you're, strictly from an investment standpoint, definitely grab the cases. And again, if you don't want to be paying record high prices, you don't want to be paying full market on this stuff, which a product like Destined Rivals, if you want to grab it, you got to pay full market. If you're looking for some place to get under market pricing on the hottest sets, again, be sure to check out these programs. I mean, we're going to save you thousands of dollars on the cases that you're buying. People have saved tens of thousands of dollars in the group already. And we're going to be increasing prices here very soon, you guys. There's just simply way too many people that want this stuff, that are willing to pay. Being able to even save $200 or $100, even $50, our starter tier for the whole month costs $50. Like you buy one case and you're covering your monthly dues. So the value that you are getting is just substantially higher than the cost of joining the group. So be sure to check that out. But that's all I have for this video. Hopefully you guys learned something, gauging just what's happening here in the sealed market. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, we'll catch you here on the next one.